people. Yes, people. Yes, yes, yes. We're back again. Back again. Me, Mr. B. And today I want to touch on an issue that has been in front of us for a while. Uh, some people would like to believe that with certain developments, the dust has settled. And that issue is once again the Prime Minister Andrew Michael Holness and the Integrity Commission. And the question that we wanna raise is the Integrity Commission done with Andrew Holness or vice versa? Now, just to set the record straight, the Integrity Commission is tasked with upholding accountability and transparency. And of course, its investigations are typically grounded in evidence. Very important. Now, if the findings indicate breaches of approval processes or breaches of the regulations governing the whole integrity issues surrounding governance in Jamaica, then of course these issues will warrant a certain level of scrutiny, and that's essentially where we are now. Background: we know the Prime Minister's statutory declarations have been the subject of a backing and forthing discourse between himself and the Integrity Commission. To date, those those statutory declarations for a number of years have remained unsigned. And so we saw where that came to a head with the Prime Minister requesting leave to through the courts to essentially address the concerns that he has had over the issue. Now the courts have in turn responded, and while they have acceded to some of the requests, the primary request that the Prime Minister had made about essentially wanting to gut, and this is my own interpretation, to essentially guts out the Integrity Commission on the basis that he feels that he's unfairly targeted by the commission, and those issues are still remain unresolved. But the most important thing is that the issue with the unsigned declarations is still right in front of us. And so, as a follow-up to that, we were greeted last week with another report from the Integrity Commission with respect to some findings that they made after investigating housing development that according to the reports, the Integrity Commission deemed that the construction was being done in breach of the KSA-MC approvals for the project. Now, the question again arose, and the Prime Minister, stepped into the fray by suggesting that the Integrity Commission is targeting him. And so the question that it begs is it a fair statement that the commission is targeting the Prime Minister, or is it that the Prime Minister is being disingenuous? And we want to look at these issues today. Now, again, the allegation, the latest one, is that the project violated approvals from the Kingston and St. Andrew Municipal Corporation. And of course, if that is true, if that is true, this could point to governance or regulatory failures. The Prime Minister, as the head of government, would naturally face questions about his role or that of his administration in ensuring compliance within the law. The reality, though, is that the Integrity Commission is there as a watchdog agency to address, or as part of the steps to addressing issues of corruption that the country has been plagued with for decades. And I don't want people to think that this is a a JLP, PNP issue. I think it is a serious enough issue that as Jamaicans we ought to be able to have a discussion on this issue minus the partisanship. But the reality, though, is that Jamaica has been a polarized state. The landscape has been so for decades. And of course, with supporters of the two main political parties, the Jamaica Labour Party and the PNP, People's National Party, the, either side is often interpreting issues through the lens of political loyalty. Of course, this kind of polarization leads to the dismal or the dismissal of serious allegations by supporters of the implicated party and an overemphasis by opponents, which reduces public focus on the substance of the issues, which I think is where we are. Nobody is saying that the Prime Minister is unscrupulous or is being involved in any kind of nefarious or illegal activities. The issue comes from the fact that the Prime Minister's declaration of assets and liabilities, in other words, the Prime Minister's wealth, is in accordance with the view of this investigative body, the Integrity Commission, is not in sync with what has been his declared earnings or income. And so the whole question of this investigation is one that is seeking to unravel, to dig deeper, to find out if there's stuff that was missing or there is any attempt at misleading the commission. A very important step and a very important role by the Integrity Commission in ensuring that those who wish to sit in the seat of governance of the island Jamaica, that they are operating above board. Now, again, over time, these repeated allegations of corruptions and misconduct without significant consequences foster a lot of public cynicism. Of course, if people believe that the accountability mechanisms really lead to meaningful outcomes, then most people disengage from the issue, even when it involves high-profile figures like the Prime Minister. The other side is also true, that the constant badgering or cross accusations being leveled at the Integrity Commission by the Prime Minister serves to place the Commission in a bad light, especially in an environment where we are not willing to have meaningful discussion on these issues, right? The reality is that economic challenges, crimes, and other pressing social issues often dominate public attention in Jamaica. And so while governance and accountability, those issues are critical, people may not feel, as urgent. People may not see these issues as urgent enough. The issue of corruption or the issue that is being addressed by the Integrity Commission. The Jamaicans may not see them as urgent enough, when compared with Jamaicans having to deal with the regular day-to-day struggles. And so what it does is that it leads to less emphasis on the Integrity Commission's findings. Now, the other side of this too is that, contrary to the view that the Commission may be playing a little bit of politics here, the reality is that the Commission in its current state was established by the current administration. And in the first couple of years of its operation, that is up until 2019, the same Prime Minister lauded the Commission, the same members who are there now, and their officers for the work that they have been done. It just seems that in the last couple of years, when the Prime Minister's statutory declarations and those of other members of um, his cabinet or the governing party um, fell on the wrong side of the ledger, that the effort is being made to paint the commission in a bad light. The reality is that for years we have never had to address these issues in as significant a way as we are doing them now. And so for those reasons, this kind of probity may rub people the wrong way. Again, in a divided political environment, especially when the person or persons who are under the microscope are people that we favor, we don't want to have those kind of discussions. My view, personally, is that if you did nothing wrong, if you have done nothing wrong, you should allow the investigations to continue and allow the chips to fall where they may. If these allegations are proven to be incorrect, then let's get there. And at that point, we will deal with the issue of whether the reporting was scurrilous, one-sided, it was designed to tear the individuals down. I think that's where we should be trying to head with the discussion. The reality, though, is that financial investigations are often very complex and may not be easily understood by the general public. Now, without clear, accessible explanations as to what the probe entails and its implications, again, the significance of these investigations are lost in technicalities and legal jargon. Our media landscape is not helping either, because the way our local media presents the issues plays a significant role in shaping public perception. And if the media coverage is sensationalized or overly partisan, which is what has been happening in Jamaica, it distracts from the gravity of the findings and the potential impact on governance and public trust. So again, I am not here to say that whether the Prime Minister is guilty or innocent. I'm saying the Integrity Commission has a job to do, and we should allow them to execute those jobs. We shouldn't try to interfere with the conduct of these investigations. We shouldn't try to muddy the water that is being provided, because what it does is that in the long run, it is Jamaica and the reputation of the people of Jamaica that comes to naught. My view is that, part of this discussion, or in terms of how we address the issue, to ensure that the significance of the probe is not lost, we should, civil society organizations and independent media could play a bigger role in explaining the Integrity Commission's findings and their implications in a more concise, crystal, and objective way than is currently being done. The other side of it is that transparency from the Integrity Commission in terms of clear, detailed, and public communication about the investigation scope and outcomes is also essential in bolstering their own credibility. But on top of all of this is the importance of having greater accountability from those who choose to lead us. The Prime Minister and his administration should engage the issue in a much more constructive way. It is my view, addressing the findings transparently, rather than deflecting or politicizing the matter. The Integrity Commission's work, in my opinion, is fundamental to promoting accountability in Jamaica, and it ensures that the public remains engaged and informed. This is which is critical to upholding the democratic values and the trust in our local institutions. So, the the Prime Minister involved with the construction from the trail of the investigation. It looks like at one point that an entity that the Prime Minister was involved with, and that entity was part of the Integrity Commission's probe, which is what brings the Prime Minister back into the discussion with respect to this whole issue. Those issues related to the statutory declarations reports over the period 2000 and what is it 2021 to 2000 and 2019 to 2022, and so for those reasons it brings him back into the discussion at this stage. My view, though, again, as I said, the Prime Minister now have nothing that him should be uncomfortable with. Him should allow the thing to just run its course. Now, when done run the course and we done prove say nothing now go on, then him have a case to take up against the individuals involved. Tell me what you guys think about what me think. You know, of course, if you like the video, I would love if you would just hit the like button, and of course, if you have not yet done so, subscribe to the channel. I try to, you know, make a representation here that is non-partisan. Again, it's not a question of whether or not whether I like or don't like, you know, our political masters. It's a question of integrity, a question of, you know, allowing the things to run its course. Because at the end of the day, the only person who loses is us as Jamaicans. Let me see your feedback in the comment section. And of course, if you like the video, you know, hit the like button, share with your friends.